Hello there, welcome to episode 46 of Never Mind the Bullens. My name is Mike Peters. This is your bite-sized Everton podcast and vodcast. Recording this as a bit of a reaction to the Chelsea game, that defeat last night. And before we kind of get to the game itself, I want to cast our minds back a year to the day in actual fact, where we played at Stamford Bridge and we were absolutely mauled by 4-0, and we could have lost by 6 or 7 easily. It was just an absolutely wretched performance. It was our last game before lockdown, and I think last night, even though we lost, I think is a testament to how far we have come in a year. I mean, in a very truncated year, obviously, you know, with gaps here and there, obviously with lockdowns and everything else, but it's a testament to how far we've come that we're thinking we went into that game last night, not with a sense of trepidation, because I think, like the game last year, we were thinking probably, this could be an absolute nightmare. We're going to get a paste in here. Whereas last night we actually went into it, I certainly did, thinking, do you know what, we can actually get a result here. I know Chelsea are in excellent form, but we beat them at Goodison before Christmas, and we're there. Our form is excellent, won our last 3, haven't conceded a goal. You know, we're right up there in the mix for the Champions League. So why can't we go to Chelsea and get a result? The confidence is that high. Obviously, that proved to be, you know, some slight false confidence, but equally, Chelsea thoroughly deserved to win the game. It wasn't a way that we performed badly. You know, we were under the pump. I thought Chelsea were exceptional. They're pressing, they're hustling, they're harrying, with something akin to what we would expect or would love to see at Goodison in a big game against, you know, in any game where, you know, want to see players pressing and chasing the ball down and desperately trying to win stuff back. And Chelsea did that brilliantly last night. Thomas Tuchel has got them purring. It's the first chance I've really had to watch them since he's taken over, and I thought they were absolutely excellent. We matched them as best as we could. We were under the pump for, well, the entire 90 minutes, really. We had a couple of opportunities, didn't take them, but we really didn't deserve anything out of the game. If we got away with the draw, then we'd have been, you know, counting our lucky stars, really. I mean, the big miss for me was Abdoulaye Doucouré, because he provides such energy and dynamism in that midfield. And when you look at it and you go, right, hang on, we've got Alan, Gylfi Sigurdsson, Andre Gomez in there, none of whom are blessed with pace. You're thinking we are really going to be at it with the active runners that they have coming from midfield, and so it proved to be. Whether he'd have been able to make the difference and allow us to get a result, well, we'll guess we'll never know, will we? But he's going to be a big miss for us, and hopefully we can, you know, he's going to be out for a couple of weeks by the sounds of it, with an important injury, according to Carlo. But it's disappointing. He was a big miss for us last year, and that just shows that the you know, the squad, the respective squads, and they're absolutely poles apart. Whereas we have nobody to come in. If we lose a player like that, there is no one to come in. And you just look at the benches from last night, and I was watching it, and I'm thinking that shows how far we've come and how far we've got to go in terms of recruitment, in terms of personnel. Their bench was Kepa, Antonio Rudiger, Thiago Silva, N'Golo Kante, Christian Pulisic, Olivier Giroud, Mason Mount, Ben Chilwell, and Hakim Ziyech. Now, that's about 300 and odd million quid's worth of talent on the bench, all of whom are first teamers in pretty much every other Premier League team. Kepa, maybe not, a bit dodgy. Our bench on the other hand last night: Josh King, Niels Nkounkou, Bernard, Tom Davis, just coming back from an injury, Jean Virginia, Nathan Broadhead, and then John Tyra and Onyango as well. So you got 4 kids there. A lad who's played a couple of Premier League games in Niels Nkounkou, and, you know, our third choice goalkeeper because Robin Olsen's out. Now, you know, that just shows where we're at. We're in a transitional phase with the squad, and we know that. But that shows actually how far we've come, that we're coming out of this disappointed that we didn't get a result out of that game. You know, you're disappointed whenever you lose a game of football as a fan, aren't you? But we're thinking, actually, I said, when we're going into it thinking we can genuinely get something here, and then we don't, that's disappointing. What was disappointing within the game was the defensive lapses, because we gave away 2 really poor goals. Although they'd been obviously on top, we'd defended well. Our shape was excellent. We tackled, we'd hustled, we'd harried. There was no outball. We were under constant pressure, and we just couldn't get Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison really on it at all. Although when they did have chances, obviously they didn't take them. That one, Richarlison early in the second half, where he just gets his, he runs across him a little bit too far. He's out of shape and he sclaffs it into the, well wide of the goal was disappointing. But that first goal was poor. Mason Holgate switches off. Or has come out. Alex Iwobi switches off, and Mason Holgate's come out to chat, and there's a huge amount of space in there. Marcus Alonso comes in, and they get a bit of a spawny goal, don't they? To be fair, from Kai Havertz off Ben Godfrey, disappointing, but hey, that can happen. Jordan Pickford, who made a couple of really really good saves. Then as a rush of blood, well, that could have happened in any game, to be fair. And ultimately, I'd rather him get a daft thing like that. And he knew as soon as he made the challenge, you could see on his face, there was no appeal of like, no, that's not a penalty, ref. There was none of that, because he knew straight away that he'd come out and he had made a challenge that he had absolutely no need to make. But if you're going to get it out of the way, you might as well get a daft rush of blood like that out the way in a game that you're already losing, and you were always going to be up against it to get a result out of at that point anyway. So I think, although it's weird to say it coming off the back of a defeat, I think we can take some confidence out of it, because we matched Chelsea. We stifled them for large parts of that game, and but for those two sort of defensive lapses, I know they had chances late on and they could have extended the lead, but I mean, anything more than 2-0 I think would have flattered Chelsea. I don't think they were that much better than us. We can take, right, actually, do you know what? We've done really well here. When we're struggling, we've got players out, no Seamus Coleman, Tom Davies just come back from an injury, Abdoulaye Doucouré, no James, a number of key players for us not available, and yet we've managed to match a team with genuine top four aspirations, and we probably at the start of the season thought they might be within a shout of maybe challenging for the title, or really purring under their new manager, and we've done pretty well against them, and we can take a lot of heart from that. We can't allow one bad night to affect us. We've now got obviously a rest for 5 days, and the games come thick and fast. We had 3 games in a week. He's had to rotate his squad, but if you're saying to any fan you're going to win 3 games out of 4, you go, right, that's all right, I'll take 9 points out of 12 every consistently. Nobody's going to really complain about that, are they? So we need to just say, hey, last night was a bit of a blip. We carry it on to Saturday. Obviously got a game against Burnley. Obviously they got a result against Arsenal at the weekend, and we know what type of test they're going to provide. And then we go into a complete gimme against a shot to nothing against Man City in the FA Cup. So we're still in the mix. Obviously West Ham won. As my phone goes off, brilliant. West Ham obviously won and are back right in contention for the top 4, but we're still in there. Absolutely still in there. We've got Villa to play twice. We've still got to go to West Ham, and we're in there. So we shouldn't allow last night to kind of really dent our morale or our confidence, and hopefully we'll see us bounce back Partridge style on Saturday against Burnley. If you want to get in touch, feel free. Lovely to hear from you. At NMTBpod on Twitter, nmtbpod@gmail.com on the email. This has been a Top Content production, and until episode 47 after the Burnley game, come on you Blues.